need good operators. So like you said, when you have a chance as kind of, I wouldn't even say Legacy is like a smaller organization. Like we had mentioned in the past, they made it to the major. This is a prospect. This is a team that you want to join if you're in the South American scene, but maybe not like the first team you would like to join. If there's opportunities to slide in elsewhere. And like you said, I think they just found a great target and picked him up effectively. But we're enough of our yapping. As you can see, we had a bit of a delay getting into this action. We'll get into the game and finally get to find out what exactly we're talking about. Is it going to be Legacy coming into the season with a bang, or is Wildcard going to continue their regional dominance? We'll find out here very quickly, as we're going to see. Bit of a slow round. We already highlighted Neck is in his style. Loves to slow the round down. Loves to remain patient in the early stages. That's what we're getting out of them so far. No big rush on things just yet. But ready to spring into action here. Sonic going to be charged with the dual Berettas, the Molotovs, the Shadows, the baiting out. Initially, it just sells them hook, line, and sinker. JBA quick to respond. And they've got themselves access in towards this palm site. Stanislaw not sticking around too long for the finishing duels, and instead is going to try to operate in the post plant, waiting patiently for the rest of his team to get involved. You can see Susp is trying to activate, retake some of this donut control. The silent crawl coming through here. Dumal ready to activate from the back of Big Box. He does strike for one, but it's quickly traded here. And Lotto and Barton, they're in a powerful position here for the post plant. Almost unstoppable without any kits as well. It's going to make their job even more difficult. And you can see the challenge. Back's turn, hoping that he can collect on a headshot. And almost coverage. He's still sticking it, but Barton will be able to close it with the dual Berettas. A little delay there, but you know he was going to finish that one. At 10-second defuse, too much to ask.
And I was going to say, him killing the player behind, maybe there was a world where Stan could have just stuck it all the way through, but luckily Barton realizes that it wasn't the diffuser, swings back around, gets that final kill. Tough round for Wildcard to get through, but sure, that bait setup is solid, but Legacy just hold very strong there in the post plant, get into the most important positions to hold in Donut, in that back big box. And now Wildcard will not purchase in. They're not going to be as aggressive with these purchases as you might think. They're giving that respect over to the T side, and they'll make sure to have all the bells and whistles out in the third. I don't mind this. Play the long game here. Don't try to burst this game wide open just for a crack at maybe a 20% chance at winning a round, you know? So good on Wildcard here.
I like the decision. I don't mind it. There's always that maybe slight worry that you miss some utility getting into this third round bye. My thing is, I feel like Ancient's such a force buyable map. You know, it's such a good map to get a force buy on. 5-7s. You know, think about all the close range duels you can take. And then, if it doesn't work, you do have your first gun run with all utility, all the tools, maybe even an op if you play your cards right, but not the move that they make. Like you said, they trust in their rifle rounds here, and for good reason. Stanislaw, I think one of the specialties he has is that he is absolutely, you know, a monster with the MP9. He's a monster with that cave position specifically. I don't know, like, close range duels are usually like uncomfortable for any player. You don't like to take him all that often, but he thrives in that environment. This is his primary zone, but somehow Lotto is the one that comes out on top there despite the low HP bar. Might have cursed him. Also, I got news straight from the Wildcard source that we do have Susp in NA.
Nice.
He has made it, thankfully. So, I mean, this is also going to be maybe one of the first looks with Wildcard at 100%.
Yeah. Even more cause for concern for Legacy. I mean, this guy has been such a rock on this B bomb site. And you'll see it as this CT side unfolds. But more pressure coming in for Cave here, as Legacy will want to double up. Susp is there. They spot out the high-low position. They disassemble. But Legacy are into the site.
Able to crack on through there. And Tumao, no concerns. As to this B site hold, he just breaks through the deadlock there, and it is going to be, I mean, a late attempt. I don't think Fozy will make too much of a move, though. Gonna call this one out. Back out. Wildcard. Falling a little bit short there out of the gates. Bonus converted here. Comes down to some strong entry presence. I mean, one of the bigger challenges maybe Stan plays. How do you deal with this slow style? Legacy perfect on like the first gun round to slow the pace down. Whenever you get the opportunity to bait out utility, and you know there's even less utility for Wildcard this go around, so it just makes a lot of sense. Fozy been aggressive on the hunt, has definitely been spotted there. And maybe for good reason. Everyone gonna fall in the server. Fozy gonna get some extra cash, but he does lose a lot when he falls with the A1S.
Yeah, I think he's thinking that maybe I just won't have as much impact with the rifle in the following round anyway, so I might as well keep the economy in check. That's kind of where I'm thinking his head's at, but...
Not a bad idea. Get a good half buy here. I mean, obviously going to save for the op in the next, but
yeah,
you can get a Deagle, and everyone else has a good half buy.
But in general, right, that round from Legacy is pretty much perfect. You've got the Red Room lurk from Nekiz just perfectly crunching into that part of the map, and the cave presence gets all the information that they're very cave heavy, and then they get that entry on the B site. It works out just magically. And Wildcard just don't have the presence of mind that Legacy are just that couple of steps ahead. So already a nice start for Legacy in that first buy round, and Wildcard definitely have a monster to deal with here that's brewing.
Absolutely, we've seen some cause for concern out of the gates. Wildcard not able to start things off as they had hoped. We're gonna see if they can follow it up here. This is gonna be, you know, the real start to a test. Right now, Wildcard, can they start with AWP in hand, with utility to advance them forward? Oh, good. We got another MP9 out of Stan. Got a lot of investment in that last half, but I didn't get a lot out of it, and so, as you can see, it's still a bit limited on some of that utility for a couple of individuals, but I think you could ask for Sonic getting active towards middle. Again, going to be taking a look and keeping a close eye on how he performs up against this rifle squad, and now dodging out of the flashes. Oh man, they really break him down. Zad's with the flash setup. He's just dodging around the smoke, getting him so uncomfortable. It's almost like they baited him in to look at the flashes and then popped through the smoke. Perfectly played. And that just looks so devious from Legacy on the setup.
Oh my god. I mean, you've got a couple underhand flashes. You've got a couple being thrown over the top. I mean, that is just perfect in terms of that mid control. Sonic had no chance. And now Legacy, this is their bread and butter. You get some significant manpower advantages, and you just constrict out the CTs, force them to make terrible decisions or just more aggressive ones, and then you can continue to compound those aggressive maneuvers, and that's where Dumal can pounce. He goes 1-for-1 with Susp, and now with 40 seconds left on the clock, World is Legacy's oyster. They can just go to whichever site they choose. They find an open B-bomb site, and you also have Dumal as a late lurk that could potentially take away another couple of these guns.
Still not super interested in calling it a save just yet, but that melee gives over one of those cave flanks, and there's no kit. Sweet's probably gonna have to call it soon, and there's that late lurk that you talked about. Lotto strikes just in time for one less gun. A hunt is on as well. They have done too much damage, so there's definitely a case for Legacy to make this move. Dumal's got him right where he wants him. Optional AWP will be picked up for Sadzin, and Legacy off to a terrifying start. Great opening move. Nekiz felt like he set that round up from the opening stage of this game and finally got a chance to pull that out.
Good tag timeout being called here from Wildcard. I mean, these rounds have been beatdowns from Legacy, direct counters to Wildcard's setups, and this is where you're going to call upon Stan, right, and just say, what is the game plan? How do we adapt to this situation? And they've been in this situation before. as I spoke about in their previous series in CCT, they have to always make big comebacks. But what is that change up to get their foot in the door into this game? Because right now, it does feel like that gap is even wider than a 5-0 start, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Wildcard have found themselves in deficits, and as you had mentioned in that Noun series, sometimes it takes a little bit to calibrate for Stan to start answering back, and when he does, that's when things start to go their way. But the reason I feel that weight is definitely because Legacy have dominated in a lot of these rounds. It hasn't been super close. There's not a lot of kills on the board. Bosie's got 5, and three of those were on a save. Maybe 2 of those were on a save. 2 for Sus, 2 for JBA. The half buys haven't really given him much.
Yeah, sometimes you think that's the little edge that might catch a T off guard, but nothing is connected. That prowess of Stanislaw in the cave has been abused time in and time out as he remains killless. And Legacy continued mid control. I mean, I'd argue maybe 4 out of the 5 rounds won so far has been just establishing that part of the map. Now you're putting pressure on Sus, but now has an opportunity to double down. Can only find the one. Legacy will take that trade every day of the week. Nekiz will be putting out a feeler here into the CT spawn, but he'll find that the back lanes are completely clear. This B bomb site is ripe for the taking, and this late gamble from Wildcard will not work out. Legacy should very firmly claim themselves their 6th.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was so much cause for concern. There's a little misutility, as you can see, towards Cave, if there was any further presence. But if Neck is consistently saying there's no resistance, yeah, the relief for Legacy continues. 6-0 to kick things off. As highlighted, how is Legacy going to come into this matchup? They've started off with an absolute boom in the early stages.
And I guess Wildcard at this point, not keen in giving away more money, but look at the bank accounts of Legacy. 5 digits on 4 players, or 3 players there. Just so much to deal with for Wildcard. They've got a mountain to climb to not only erode that money, but erode the confidence that Legacy is oozing right now. And gotta give it to Nekiz, man. I mean, he's really just running circles around Stan to start this off.
Absolutely, it looked like they come through with a very good game plan out of the gates, and they've been able to follow that to a T. We still got JB8 holding on to this MP9 for good reason. He's just going to tear through him. Neck is shut down. He gets the call from the sidelines this time around. JB8 closing the distance with that MP9. And finally, a round that starts right for Wildcard. Stan is going to get himself a freebie kick. Connect, though. Struggling a little bit aim-wise right now. And it is costly towards that B site. They lose so much. They lose even further with the Sonic re-aggression up short. JB8, his location known, and the cutoff towards deep CT. Fozy can't even get started into this conversation. We're running low on time. It's JBA with the responsibility on his shoulders. He has to start cracking on through. This setup is far too good, and walks out into the open. The start of the round looks fantastic. But now this B side is collapsing in front of them.
And now you're getting the clutch ability of Legacy as well, right? I mean, in that man disadvantage, Lotto digs themselves out of it. Stan goes down with nothing, and sure, they go 1 for 1, but it's that immediate pressure onto the B bomb site once Cave falls. Very similar to the beginning stages. I think that was that first buy round where they spot out the high-low setup and they double back through the front lane and just crack open that B bomb site. And again, it works out for them as soon as they spot the heavy resources being dumped into that part of the map. Legacy, I mean, you can tell that this team just feels so on point in terms of their chemistry as well. It feels as though they are under one mind. And for that, it's really going to push the limits of Wildcard's strength and the chemistry that they've built in such little amount of time, right? It's a completely different set of stages all of a sudden where you look at both of these teams. One has completely been able to become that locked in, solid 5-man unit, and the other one now looks all of a sudden just completely out of all sorts.
I think what Nekis is doing so well is stringing these calls off the back of one another, putting a lot of pressure towards middle, and round number 5, or when they were up 5-0, so round number 6 rather, and then just flying out middle, and then now in the very next, I mean, sure, Nekis goes out high and dry, but bam, they've got that B play coming on through. They're willing to take the risk, and maybe Stan had that kill on a silver platter and another day, but even if he had that kill, they lost out on that B site.
Yeah.
And there's still question marks as to what can be done, and that's just conditioning from round 1. So where the setup here just continues to compound on Wildcard, and every round feels like it's strung off the back of another, leading to this dominant scoreline. And the only way you can stop it is to stop Legacy in their path.
They just need a 5v3 to sit on, I guess. Sonic again is going to be aggressive here. Huge win condition in terms of CT side success. But it's JBA and Stanislaw. Stanislaw finally gets off the mark, but Sadzin's there. I mean, a little bit of a heat check there. I don't know if you can do heat checks off 1 kill, but hey, we found out.
I mean, maybe there's a cutoff for the bomb, though. This is the one saving grace. Sonic is in the way, and that is going to be a certain surprise. They have the A bomb site, they forgot the package, and now it's a panic. And it's a panic that they might not be able to overcome. They got their 5v3 that you had mentioned. They got their big advantage. And maybe, just maybe they got a round here. Should be set up for success. Certainly is. JBA to close. And finally, Wildcard have put a stop to the success. After long last. Has to feel good.
Yeah, and I think Wildcard there just backing their players. They realize Sonic can get up close and personal with that MP9 on the elbow smoke. And then that gives JBA the prime opportunity to nade open the smoke, fight ahead with Stanislaw. They don't just give away that spot of the map for free. They really want to fight for it instead of shirking away and respecting the opponent. And I like that. I like that they're playing in the faces of Legacy, forcing them to kind of give a little bit more respect back the other way. And as soon as that 1 round is lost, Legacy decided to take a timeout, discuss what's going on. They know the comeback potential of a team like Wildcard, and I'm not gonna lie, if they can get 5 rounds here, even 4, I'm still not gonna rule this game out at all.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what I was talking about when you give time for some calibration. All it takes is a little bit of early calculated, and that bam, that's when Stan can really do some of his best work. The calculations have been done. Fozy finally gets a chance to actually have some early impact towards this A side with his AWP, and he's constantly being pressured. Challenge. Sonic avoiding the flashbangs though and nails the initial spray. Aggression out towards his A main side. They're still trying it. And Sus just comes through with the perfect spam down range. The AWP has a whole lot more to tear through than just one. Spotted out on the jump up. And now a couple of successful rounds in a row. That Wildcard economy starts to get built very quickly with that. See if that does the trick here to get their heads back into it. 2 confident rounds back to back.
Yeah, it looks like that calibration might be nearing completion. I mean, Fuzi just doing so much work there to get that first pick, hold on to that line as long as possible, and Legacy just cannot get through with that set piece. That Molotov might have been slightly misplaced in the backside. I don't know how Sonic has found a safe haven there, but it really does net them that round. He gets pretty much a freebie there on the site hit. And now things start to feel a little bit more comfortable for Wildcard here in middle. They're going to try their hand again to go out, and that flash time's just a little bit late, but Nekis still finds the double. That's huge.
All right. I think it says enough that your calculations. Can you Add up to that. That's an insane double down. Deletion on the duo. JBA and Sonic. That follow-up so massive. Neckers will go down in the end. Go down eventually. Bomb gonna be planted though. Set up his teammates for success. We gotta see those rotations rolling through quickly. Because again, the biggest concern, this donut control in the late round. Stand ultra cautious in this position. There's so many eyeballs tucked in. What's he going for here? An extra Molotov. He's gonna walk into near certain death. They're gonna give him one hell of a swing. Molotov baits him out, and that's a lot of info spotted at the very least. 2 players and another now identified and looking for the kills now to be clutched up. It's the 2 Swedes that have to stick the bomb, and they just can't make the case. Actually, they don't have kits either. A bit of an oopsie there, trying to save some extra economy. It didn't give them really a chance to fight for that round.
Yeah, a bit awkward there. But I fear not Nexa. Nekiz's double there in middle was huge. I mean, that does everything. And as soon as he goes 2 for 1, I mean, you see how much mid control is valuable to Legacy and the way they play that map out, that part of the map out. Where they get the red room control, they can wrap into B, they can get donut control, they can wrap into A, and every single time they just find the answer once they have that key part of the map. CT side still trying to hold on here, and unfortunately on the other end, B side has lost its key piece in Susp.
Yeah, he's been having a tough time with things as well, and bringing those massive defenses. Been shut down a couple of times. There's not a lot of good avenues back into these rounds once things start to open up. That's when Legacy start to constrict, but JBA has just struck for 2. And they're still waiting for this Nekis flank to arrive. They're still waiting for this long move of the leader to land the flank. Now being covered though. Sonic is aware of that possibility. He has the vision and shuts down Nekis' flank. That leaves these 2 players out high and dry with the smoke soon to fade, and not in their favor as Fozy blasts it open. Last identified Lotto. Gonna need some special numbers here to try and close it out. He found the second, doubling down and now challenging Stan. Next at bat, but Stan gonna put it to an end. Scratches that ticket there, and finally a third there. Back in response for Wildcard.
Man, so many little moments there that were just so awesome to witness. It's Sonic's just presence of mind. The spidey senses start tingling, and he just swings back his attention to that red room flank and catches Nekias right down to the wire. And then Fuzi's timing on the nade. I mean, just exactly when the cross is coming through for that bomb to go down, just completely clips his wings, and Lotto putting on a near magical performance there. And you're starting to see just the firepower and the depth across the board for all 10 players on the server. All have the capabilities of just winning rounds outright and taking rounds back and forth every which way.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what's been impressive here. I think largely Legacy and Nekis individually has been so massive in a couple of these opening duels. And right there, gets shut down in his late lurk, sure, but again, that's definitely that chess match we were expecting. Wasn't sure if Wildcard were going to be able to get back into it, but maybe just had to sacrifice a couple pawns. Looking for that checkmate. Got Stan is locked. Another opportunity to get players in the smoke, and this time he's limited to just a single. At least he got his, and JP8 gives him the same treatment. A taste of their own medicine, although caught with utility out in the meantime. And again, Sonic and Fozy left to clutch up here. Another re-aggression that Sonic is prepared for, always ready, and still covering the follow-up. He's getting charged down, knowing that he's low, and covering the bomb. Takes a lot of damage in his closing statement, but Fozy is reading into this one perfectly. Might be able to even cut this off. He at least hears it. I think both these individuals hear each other. Yeah, you can see why Barton reroutes right there. No secret. And now Barton looking to add a little bit of mystery into this clutch. Oh, there you go. Not bad. Successful mount there, no troubles. And Fozy gonna take his time, both reading into this one well, but Barton is gonna have a little bit of time in this post plant. Bomb's going to be planted now. Chance to reposition exactly where he wants to go. He's going to tuck in towards the cubby. Gotta be careful. You don't want your barrel sticking out too far in a position like this, but see what Fozy can see on the inbound. He's still looking to remain anonymous. Finally stepping out, getting loud. All is coming down to just one swing from Barton as the angle's being cleared. Fozy so careful and just checking every last corner, but he has no idea. He's right in front of him. And that's an easy clutch for Barton to step out and close. 9 on the board for Legacy as a fantastic half formulated for them. Welcome back after a bit of a fire started for the first half on Legacy. They're looking to continue the flame into the second. Wildcard without a lot of room to work with. We'll see what they can do to recover this map. It's JBA hungry to do so. He has been firing up throughout the entirety of that first half. And now Sauce looking to follow suit. Fresh in NA. Lotto, though, ready to shut things down. And it didn't seem like there was a lot of conviction in that A play. No, actually towards B is where their end goal is.
Oh, look how much space Fuzi's taking. He's all the way up the short side. Finds himself one, but Lotto is having himself around. 3 kills in the round. Looking for a little bit more to take down that Swedish sniper, but he's been dinked up. And now he's crossed between 2 different sides. Lotto still lives to fight another day, and finally he'll fall. But do they know where Nekis is? He's just caught between both of these players. Has a chance to potentially find his bomb planter, but JBA is even more aware. 2 kills between the two of them. And Wildcard pick up a very necessary pistol. That pace was just awesome.
flying all over the map there. Lotto was there to meet them at every stage as well, which is the most impressive. Somehow reading into it perfectly. And as we had mentioned, sometimes when you get this clash of styles, you see those very slow styles from both camps. It feels like the best move is to try and speed things up. Switch up the pace, you know what your opponent likes to do. Maybe that's what they've set with the pistol there out of the gates. Great flashbang, even more damage. And the force buys, the aggression from Legacy will continue. Willing to meet them where they are in middle. And Nekis has sent out another headshot. Does get traded, but 4v4.
They get the flashbangs on both sides. I mean, every time Sadzin is just throwing just the best ones. I've got to give him some serious credit. Sure, he hasn't done much work in terms of the sniping, but man, oh man, so much impact beyond just bullets.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's, as I was mentioning on that W7M fall off, I just think his teammates knew how important he was, and not only has the flashes been good this game, but the trading just the same. Stan is instant to reply. Fozy, there's a missed opportunity there. There's still that very low HP of Sonic, though. And a cheeky spot from Dumal gets another one. Not even that low target either. Smoke gonna go down, not gonna be respected. Can he track this one? It's just in time for JBA. Dink down low and chased out with the FAMAS. It's doing him no justice, but the charge is in from Barton as well. There's head Kevlar for him, and the Glock had to come out for JBA. Wildcard get smoked on the force by everyone finding the kill on Legacy.
Yeah, it's that teammates to come out, and I mean, you spoke about the potency of force buys on this map when Wildcard had the option. Legacy, you know, they don't give that same level of respect. They want to take it straight to Wildcard, and you can just tell with the pace and the approach that they show in that opening gambit in middle that they don't want Wildcard to feel comfortable even if they're going to up the tempo. They get in their faces. Nekis goes 1 for 1. And I mean, all of these 5-7s just getting into sneaky position, just trying to find one, get a little bit of information on the way out. And that FAMAS just does so much work at the tail end of it all, finding 2 kills between 2 players. Wildcard, they'll respond immediately back the other way. Pistols and MAC-10s trying to make do, and they'll send it right back at A once more.
Full blind. We'll be able to finish the dinner on the Sadzin. What was he expected? Count of 4. Barton just keeps his distance. And the plant isn't going to be denied. A little bit problematic for Dumal. He wanted to be the hero. And goes down because of it. Now a retake, and again, these donut positions so strong, and Sonic holds the line even stronger. 1v2 now. Lotto left to save them. Damage done. Stan is backed into a wall and whips out the sidearm for the finishing blow. Oh, this second half is going to be absolutely incredible.
Man, oh man. I mean, Force by Wars, back and forth we go. Just an all-out brawl on that A site. You think once the man advantage is found for Legacy, it's just an open and shut case, but that one little kill they find into Donut spells disaster for Legacy. Sonic doing so much work with just a measly MP9. He makes it look like a rifle. Just beaming down multiple players, and now Legacy, it's somehow an even worse purchase than the last round.
I gotta give a lot of credit for this wildcard project. I thought Sonic was, you know, a player that maybe was grasping at straws, came back, really I'd imagine just to stand in for complexity, did really well in that, and I thought that was kind of the end of the line. You know? The guy was considering Davenport at some point, so that's how you know things aren't going well for you. And turned it around into becoming this player that he is right now in Wildcard. I didn't really think for the last like 4 or so months, or first 4 or so months, that he was going to be a massive improvement. I was questioning the change. Is he going to fit into Stan's style? Whereas 60 was so well versed with that X factor. But right there in that last round, you see a full example of what Sonic can bring to the table. He's definitely got that X factor that Stan needs on the T side.
Pure impact. And now 3 players on this B bomb site. Wildcard having to deal with this crossfire. It's one of the more deadlier ones, and Legacy are going all in on this cave aggression. But look at how much attention Legacy give to this entire execution. Wildcard are still thinking about potentially dabbling away, but Fuzi's found the opening kill. That's everything that he needed. He's so aware about the third. Susp is there to chime in, and it's a demolition of that B-bomb site. Call the Force Buy Wars done. Wildcard with the 6th.
All right, the white flag with this save. Can't sustain it any longer. This decision. Continue to invest. Fozy with a furious peak. Make it a couple of them. Maybe even just telegraphing that move, it felt like. I mean, I almost thought we were going to see that answer back with the setup in towards cave. But that's the sort of conviction that you have to get past that setup. It is possible to isolate those duels by some form or fashion, as we just saw that last round. And Fozy managed to thread that needle perfectly. Now he's got to get as far away from that bomb as possible. Should be good there. 0 casualties, and Wildcard now trailing by only 4 rounds, and potentially even less given the future purchases.
Yeah, surely it's the lead cut down to 3 here. But I mean, we've seen crazier rounds transpire before, so let's not rule it out of the conversation just yet. Nekiz still has a very potent 5-7 and some armor. You get that kill, you upgrade to an AK. You can see the potential of these players on Legacy that can just win you around outright. Namely Lado right now, man. He's just having himself a hell of a game. And that's the thing about Legacy. They take turns. There's never a true superstar on this team. And that makes for some really exciting CS. You don't know who's going to have that pop-out performance. Sometimes it's Lado. Sometimes it's Sadzin, Dumao. And hell, sometimes Barton can have himself in that too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's anyone's game. When Legacy are on the server. I mean, Legacy even using Nekiz at the beginning stages. We saw how well he controlled middle. It wasn't, single opening duels. He was winning multi-kills on the opener versus JBA and Sonic, and he figured out a way to do that consistently. So, not oftentimes Nekiz, but that first half it felt like partially was.
Yeah, those entries are invaluable. No Sadzin op though in this round. Would have liked to see it this time around, but it's really not the conversation doesn't really surround ops in this map of Ancient. Fuzi's not really opted in for it all too much, and neither is Sadzin. And you know what? The 5 rifles across the board has been more than serviceable for both ends. And we'll see how this pace continues to develop for Wildcard. Looking for an opening engagement here straight away is Stan, or Sonic rather. Stan trying to encroach upon mid here. Here they come.
Ready to spring into action. Stan holding off this cavery aggression. Meanwhile, they're putting the responsibility of mid control on an MP9. A lot of responsibility on Nekiz's shoulder, and just couldn't quite fight back for that. Smoke's gonna land, and Spam is on the money. Sadzin at least able to reclaim. But look at this, all while this is taking place. Susp has made a move out towards A that they will never, ever anticipate. He has the round in the palm of his hands. He just needs a call for the reinforcements. How aware are we? Dumao looks for the adjustment, can't track it in time with the surprise of Susp. And in towards the site they go. Safe access for a plant without concern. Donut a little bit worrisome, but a 4v3 post plant sets things up for success.
Sadzin doesn't find anything early. This round should be called off straight away. He spots a little bit of a head there onto JBA, but it's a hands-off keyboard round here for Wildcard. They shouldn't really need to face. And Sadzin will not find that necessary kill, so he will fall away. Wildcard will find themselves their 8th, and now you get to see the potency of Wildcard in these T-side situations. These slow-crawling defaults give so much respect to the extremity players. Players like Susp, who can just find you so much space on a map. And in that round, he single-handedly just digs Wildcard out of that position, because you could see there that the mid spam comes through from Sadzin. You start to get a little nervous. You start to think that maybe that mid control isn't the way they can win the round, and they start to double back. They're considering the B bomb site, but Sus really just clutches on to round number 18 with both hands.
Yeah, which is not even like a super typical position, but I feel like that sort of initiative for him is, he's just not really one to sit idly by. I kind of highlighted him for what he does towards that B side more so, like super understanding of his roles, and just knows when to take his time. He knows how to play back so that he doesn't give duels open. And there he does it towards the A side of all the places, so just any extremity you give him, the understanding of when to take these timings is there, it feels like, certainly.
Now the A contact is on the cards. They don't really have mid control either, so Sonic could be that late linchpin to cause some damage. Sus, meanwhile, still holding on to a little bit of lane control. Lotto doesn't have too much information, but here comes that initial contact. JBA gets himself that entry.
Wow.
Double swing is good. And that's just a beautiful call there from Stanislav, completely cutting noise, not giving any sort of a sign that Legacy could have their A bomb site completely neutralized. And they're going to have to save. This, I mean, we talked about a chess match, Cole, and we're getting that and then some here.
Stanislaw's done the math, it feels like, dude. He's in the server, reading into the brains, the setups, every last one of them, and Lotto is dead to rights, nothing saved. Another round sidelined. Wildcard are now one round off the tie. And it feels like Stan is taking the reins in the server, taking full control of the rounds. A call like that this late into the game, identifying there wouldn't be an op in this one. How much space are they going to give us? They just keep on contacting and contacting until they know they've got to be there somewhere. They've got to be in towards Donut. And that's when you finally see the conviction on the swing from JBA. The double swing even from Stan as well. Almost like they knew that was going to happen.
I don't feel like we've given enough flowers to JBA as well. Like, we're celebrating all these players, but this guy, man, I mean, the head on his shoulders and just the maturity in how he's playing this game, leading in the front of a game that of a team that is front loaded with superstars that are building in the North American scene. It is truly insane to me that this guy is the sole reason in a lot of ways individually that they kept their heads above water for so long. I mean, on that CT side, how much impact that he was finding to get themselves a couple of rounds on the board to make this comeback feasible. And now he's also finding impact on the offense as well. It's everything that you could ask for out of him.
That first half is the definition of just keeping their head above water. They're giving them that 3 rounds and having a lot of impact in those, I think, certainly. And now activating in the second. Bought time for the rest of these teammates to get involved. Now headstrong towards middle. It's Sonic back to his endeavors. A lineup, a collateral on the headshots. Doesn't matter how many targets he's faced up against, he will take care of them. And you've gotten Wildcard into their prime position. Sonic heating up towards middle. Everyone working magic on the map. And another 5v3 where you just get to sit and wait if you're Wildcard, because you know Legacy are going to feel so panicked throughout the entirety of the remainder of this round.
You know, Legacy
and already you can see the map rotations right now. I mean, on the mini map, you can see a bomb heading towards slowly this A side, and the B side stack is being called.
Legacy just can't do anything. I mean, you just got to give it up. And
they're thankful they're not on that A site with the full exit that just got thrown that way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's so much finesse to Legacy's mid control, right? And those flashes were so sick to watch, and Nekis and playing off the back of that. But Wildcard, they throw the book out the window. They don't need any finesse when you have just a headstrong Sonic just charging through that smoke. And things just look very good for Wildcard right now. I mean, just the amount of control they have over this T half. Stanislaus calling a hell of a game. And Legacy, now you put the pressure back onto Nekias, right? You say, what can you do as an IGL? What can you call out of the playbook to try to pull us back out of this deadlock and pull us back into this game?
I need to see something to slow this down. Legacy only winning that single force buy. That's all that they've been able to bring so far. It's going to be another round with all the tools at their disposal. Everything you could ask for to get back into this map. Slow down the momentum of Wildcard. But maybe JBA and Sonic going right back to what has worked. And this time JBA, left with the challenge, contains the space, holds on to it. They're going for the contact play out A again. Legacy, fearing this, gonna have the defense ready. Alarm bell in the form of Nekiz.
Not gonna jump the gun just yet. Fuzi's been boosted up here to potentially catch out the Temple player. It's a common angle that these ops like to hold, but Sadzin's traded in on middle. So with Fuzi not seeing anything, it might actually give a false sense of security, and that kill definitely doesn't make things any easier. Dumao now on the back of the site will smoke himself off in the back of the site, try to see if he can find one on the way out, but the up is there from Sadzin to get one before he falls. Man advantage retained for Legacy in the post. Wildcard have a new challenge ahead of them.
Yeah, but they've lost donut control. Always talk about the value of this in a post plant. Fozy, a little extra weight on his shoulders, but knowing that the op is down and not recoverable, has so many opportunities to succeed. There's so much counter utility as well for this T side. They're mollying, HEing CT spawn. It's not an option. Fozy's first shot connects, and he's looking for repeats here. They're getting locked out of this one still, and it's going to be Barton to look to stick the bomb. He's now left last man standing. The charge is there. Fozy just in time to shut the round down. And another victory for Wildcard as they take the lead with a round like that.
Oh my goodness. 3v4 for Wildcard to get it over the line, and I mean, it really is donut control, right? I mean, once they do have that positioning, and Fuzi's just a turret in A main, hitting every single shot necessary to slow down the re-attack from Legacy. And now they get to reclaim themselves the lead. What an opportune time to do so. All the pressure now back on the other way. And just Wildcard are so poised, but maybe this is the thing to just settle this issue. Trades back and forth, but no guns recovered, and Wildcard still retain bomb control. And while all this is happening, Susp is making moves on the inside of the map. He has a kill on his plate, but it's the safe hands of Barton to retain the man advantage.
It's that sort of activity right there that Susp is usually so good at. But shut down this time. Barton covers him. Excellent kill coming through, and like you said, just throwing the playbook out the window. Nothing is working. So let's just go for broke. Let's just throw everything at them. And it's starting to stick. It's starting to feel. But this long-standing duo, Stan and JBA, working together for this last year, have been able to solidify an exciting partnership in North America and need to get their way to map point somehow. It's got to be on their shoulders for this round. JBA so low as well. Stan working his angles. There's a bit of a weakness in terms of Barton on low HP. And a gap being slipped, a timing being found. JBA looking to capitalize, needs to be quick. Instant with the headshots caught on retreat. That's a chance for Barton to strike. And now Stan left into the 1v3, has it all on his shoulders. Looks to lead by example, but not given the duels just yet. He needs to buy time. There's no kit. He's just going to stay planted. He's looking for a duel to isolate. There's a lineup. Stan has locked down two. And the last is getting right into a battle of the brains. And Stan has been coming out on top recently. He tucks in towards the cubby, but footsteps heard. The cross is confirmed. Nekiz saves the day in a big way. Stan jumps the gun on the kill, and Nekiz will convert.
The flick back from Nekiz. Such a key component in the T-side success there for Legacy. And now doing it on the defense. The captain steps up big. And what an opportune time for that to happen. Wildcard, they're going to have to work for that magic number 13. Because these Brazilians, they're not going to go out without a fight. What a round there. I mean, you're thinking Stan gets that double kill. It's round, hook, line, and sinker for Wildcard. But, man, way to just turn the round on its head.
Yeah, that's a huge lifeline. Stan did so much to pull it back. Just couldn't get over that final hurdle. Neckers with a save, but Susp is right back into it. Sonic. Oh, he's not gonna get caught on the cross. Instead, he wins the duel. Sadson falls asleep at the wheel. And the man advantage turns to 2. With more X Factor, and when Sonic takes space, he doesn't just fall back. He presses the issue and continues to cause concern. There is so much lost on the map right now for Legacy. Constricted and suffocated into spawn at the moment. They're all just holding such passive lines. It's just feels like you just have to let this round bleed away at moments like this. You're gonna need big individuals to step up.
They don't have a smoke for the cross on long side, so the bomb
Oh,
does have
again.
to come through the other way, but it doesn't matter. The kills still come through. Barton will not be able to get involved. He's given away his position. Stands come through from long, and Wildcard, ladies and gentlemen, will get map point first. After a grueling comeback into this game, they have found a way to lock in on this offensive run. Legacy just do not have the answers, but maybe this bye can give them a second lease on life. Maybe they can notch an overtime affair here. And of course, you know Wildcard loves themselves a little bit of overtime.
They love 24 rounds as well. We'll see if they can convert. That's a crazy opener, and Sadson again missing with the AWP. Fozy goes all in on the aggro. Utility down, and again, suffocation on the round. They're just going to look to hold down the line. How do they get away to plant the bomb? Neck is identified doing damage onto Fozy, calling in for his riflers to finish the job, and now steps up. Lotto confirmed as well. The bomb is dropped. Oh my god. Lotto has been given a lucky talisman into this round. An opportunity right at his doorstep. Not given in either fashion. They've got to go for this bomb. They've got to recover it, and he goes and concedes it. A little nervous of what's around that corner. The possibilities are endless here, and Lotto steps out finally, looking for more, but he cannot get anything else. JPA with one last headshot. Wildcard down 3-9 at the half. Pull it all the way back to a victory on Ancient.
My god, I mean, we got the banger that we were expecting, right? We were hoping for just a barn burner, and we absolutely got it. All 24 rounds between these two sides.